wrap up the series on AI and product design by taking a look at some product design specific AI tools. We'll also revisit the original question, do I think AI will replace product design jobs? Enjoy. Let's keep it going with our Figma plugins. So first up is a plugin called Magician. So Magician is aptly named because there's a couple different things you can do with it. You can generate icons, you can generate copy, you can generate an image. So let's start with the image. Loads the plugin here. Similar to some of the other platforms that we've looked at, the image generation is based on text input. So we can say, let's say, how about a white horse? You know, at this point, I like to do kind of wacky things with these image generators. A white horse with 3 eyes and a mohawk. Let's just see what happens here. So we'll select generate. I don't know if these are 3 eyes. There's a mohawk going on here, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it's the main or if it's the mohawk, but I kind of like it. There's a mohawk. I can't tell if there's 3 eyes. Let's check this one out. Let's select it. Let's drop it in. Okay, well, there's definitely 3 eyes. This eye is just kind of randomly placed, but hey, it's what we asked for. I don't know if this is a mohawk or just the horse's normal hairdo. This one, definitely a mohawk, got a rainbow eye there. I don't know if there's 3. So at this point, we've seen that the image generation AI platforms can be a little tricky, hard to control, right? I don't know if we can say photo realistic, white horse with 3 eyes. Let's see what happens. But I think what we're starting to get at is these platforms are good to use as tools, right? As creative tools to get the creative juices thinking, to use for divergent creative exploration, right? Just like, let's look at a bunch of stuff, get inspired, and then kind of go on a more convergent creative streak. So, yep, pretty strange stuff here. This is more of a third eye in the, spiritual sense, I guess. Definitely a mohawk happening there. All right, so that's magic image. I think we've generated enough of the horses. Magic copy is very similar to what we saw with ChatGPT. So we can describe what we're looking for. We can describe the length of what we're looking for, and it will generate copy that matches that description, what you've asked for. Similar to the other platforms, there's placeholder text showing you what kind of prompt you can input. I would like to, let me think. Why don't we ask it to generate the introductory paragraph for a travel blog for Tahiti? Okay. So it takes a few seconds to think it up, but eventually it spits out a couple options. So this is a single paragraph, a little bit long, lots of great descriptions. So 3 options that approach this paragraph in slightly different ways. Pretty cool stuff. You can also select a text layer within your Figma file to edit its copy or generate copy directly. Okay, so that's magic copy, magic image. Now we have magic icon. So this isn't generating icon sets, it's generating individual icons. So not a lot of confidence on how similar different icons that you generate with Magician are going to be. But just to test it, let's generate an icon representing copy function. Okay, it's also going to take a few seconds. Okay, I don't know what's happened here, but I don't think this is very good. So I'm going to go ahead and say bad. Thanks for your feedback. Let's try it again. with fewer words. So generate a copy icon, or let's just say copy icon, because we already selected magic icon. It knows we want an icon. Still not quite there. This one's probably the closest. I'm not sure what's happening here. This just looks like a new file. Let's try one more thing. Let's try an icon for play. And let's just type the word play because icon is also already inferred. Now the danger here is this could be, are you playing games? Are you playing a video? Are you playing music? Okay, so this is pretty good. It aligns with what I'd expect to see for play. Okay, so there you have it for Magician. All right, next up for our Figma plugins, Wireframe Designer. So let's go up to our plugins. Wireframe Designer's already in there, it's loading. So what we do here is, again, common theme. We're going to use a text prompt to describe the style, the type of wireframes that we want to generate. So I am just off the top of my head going to say that I want to generate wireframes for a travel app. That is travel app specific. Let's get garbage in, garbage out. So most of the time, the more specific you can get with your description, the more specific and more aligned the results will be with what you wanted. So I'll say travel app for senior citizens going to Mexico. Clean, modern, simple, let's say colorful style. All right, let's see what happens. All right, while we're waiting on that, okay, it's coming up in the background. There is a free option. You get 10 designs at first, and then you have to pay for an account. All right, so we're drafting the wireframes. Still going. So it has created a single wireframe, which is interesting, but not too bad, right? We've got a search, we've got header photo, some popular destination cards. So not too shabby. You can also design for desktop, but for keeping it simple for this video, let's just stick with mobile. Magestic, not to be confused with Magician. Magestic is going to generate icon sets, or based on a text input, it's going to create some pretty cool images. So why don't we generate an image? We've looked at other image generating machines. I think this would be a good opportunity to compare the quality and the accuracy of the different machines. So let's keep it consistent. I know we did a horse last time, but let's look for a purple unicorn with 2 horns. I think that should do it. It's nice and simple. In addition to your text prompt, you can select applicable tags. So if you want to do it in the style of a famous artist, different types of digital 3D art, action painting styles, type of camera used, photo techniques, mood and lighting. So let's go. I'm a big fan of Golden Hour. Shout out to my boy, Mikey Tran. Photo techniques, let's do a Polaroid. Camera types, why don't we've already done a Polaroid, so let's do fisheye lens. Artists, let's see what we've got here. R.L. Stein. Is it going to give us an R.L. Stein type photo? Okay. Digital 3D art. I wonder if this is too many prompts, but let's see what happens. Let's see. Let's do Cinema 4D is a pretty good render, so let's check that out. And then let's do Art Deco. All right, this is going to be interesting. So Magestic also shows you your previous generations. So I also really like lizards. So I was playing around with a couple different styles of lizard. So I immediately noticed it takes up to 15 seconds. That's a lot faster than some of the other machines that we've been using. Okay, so interesting combination of prompts, but we certainly have well, it's more of a pink unicorn. This one only has one horn. This has like a mini horn maybe. This is definitely a fisheye lens. I don't think this is more just like a circle, like a fish eye. Looks like golden hour here. I think the one on my left is my favorite of the two. It has that kind of Polaroid look. The one on the right just looks really animated, and the only thing that aligns with is really the RL Stein. So pretty cool. That's what we got. So that's Magestic. All right, next up for our Figma plugins, Clueify. So Clueify predicts where users will direct their attention on your screens. It's kind of like a hotspot predictor. So for this one, I have a couple Spotify screens that I've replicated. This will be part of a future series I'm going to put together called Copycat, where I replicate screens from different popular apps. But for the purpose of today, we're just going to use it as an example screen. Go to Plugins, open Clueify, create a new analysis based on mobile. The mobile screen is already selected. That's great. We select Analyze, can take up to a minute. Opens a browser. Oh, again, similar to some of the other platforms, there is a free aspect, but you have a trial period. I think this one was something like 5 days, at which point you have to upgrade to a paid plan. Okay, so what Clueify has done is it's predicted areas that users are going to direct their attention at the most. So the first thing, good afternoon, it's a headliner. Then it's saying that users are generally going to go down, up on the right, down a little bit, but not as far. So this is interesting because typically there's either a Z pattern where users scan right, go down diagonal, and then scan right again, or an F. So they really focus on the left side, go over, go over. So this is representing the focus on the left side, but instead of going over and then over, it's going down and then down. So I wonder if that's because it's not really text that's being read. It's a series of cards. And I wonder if that series of cards makes a user, analyze something in a different pattern. Okay, so obviously the darker the hotspot, the more attention it's getting. So a lot of attention on your shows, very red here. I don't know why that's so much more red than good afternoon. I think that also represents how much time, if I had to guess, the user is spending on that particular spot. Okay, so yeah, we've got heat map, we've got focus map, which is basically just kind of masking out anything that's not being focused on. So really just a different way of interpreting the data, right? Because that focus map outline aligns with the heat map. Unfortunately, we can't look at them together. Then we've got gaze plot, which predicts the order in which things are going to be perceived by the user. So similar to the heat map, we have 1 and 2 right up top there. Good afternoon. 3 goes 4 all the way on the right, left to 5, which is surprising because the heat map implies that the focus is going down and then up and to the right and then down again. But you get the idea. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here we can see previous analyses. You can compare 2 different designs. And then we have our dashboard. There's a couple of guides, tutorials. You can start an entire project, and then you have your previous analyses there as well. Now for our last Figma plugin, Avatars Generator. What you see is what you get. The name is on the tin. It generates avatars. Now these avatars are photorealistic people that aren't actually people. They look like people, but they're not an actual person. They're generated through AI. So we have a couple squares pre-created. We select those squares. We'll go to plugins, avatars generator, very basic input, supporting Ukraine. I support that. You have the option to minimize children results. I don't see any reason not to select that unless you're designing sort of a children's website. Anyway, very simple interface. Select the shapes. And then once you select insert photos, avatars generator will insert a photo into each of the selected shapes. So we select insert photos. We get very random assortment of people. So there isn't a lot of control here given the limited interface. So we can't say what kind of background, what kind of people. We can't ask for certain demographics. We can't ask for like a white background. It's just what you see is what you get. But not necessarily a bad thing. Again, let's look at this as a tool. It's not going to do everything perfectly for you, but it's going to help you, especially in that earlier creative process. Okay, so let's try just with some different shapes. Because I'm a little OCD, I'm going to distribute the spacing. So we'll select these ovals, back to plugins, avatars generator, insert photos, move that out of the way. Here we go. It's moving it into an oval. So you know what? Maybe it's not a bad idea to use an ovular shape because people's faces are generally shaped like ovals, and that will focus in on just the face and not necessarily background. Totally free. I haven't seen any requirement to pay or any limit on how many avatars you can generate. So pretty cool. So I hope you found the review of these AI tools useful, from tools that can be used by the general population, such as ChatGPT, tools that are used by the broader design community, like Adobe Firefly, and even tools like Wizard, UiZard, that are more specific to product design, as well as the plugins for Figma that we looked at. So that brings us to the question, will AI replace design jobs? I think we can look at AI as a tool to improve our workflow and help us with our roles, as opposed to something that's going to completely replace us. If we look back to the personal computer allowed people to do their jobs faster with greater efficiency and have a little more breadth through their job. Even looking at the word processor replacing the typewriter, right? So over the years, we've seen the development of tools, be them physical or technological, that have helped people do their work. And instead of being apprehensive or hesitant to adopt this technology as I was at this time last year, I now see it as a time to take advantage of these tools to do more interesting, more creative, better work. So what do you think? Do you disagree? Do you agree? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this video and you like the content, please hit that subscribe button, hit like. It's great to know when people are enjoying my work and finding it useful. Until next time, take care.